We've recently had some fun with FF7 Rebirth and done some challenges for FF10 and 7. Like, can you beat the game using only Sephiroth? And can Kimahri solo the whole post-game? But right now, I'm having some nostalgia cravings. You know exactly the sort I'm on about, where you just can't help but want to play something very specific. And as you've guessed from the title, for me right now, that is Final Fantasy 1, the start of the FF series, and I love it. It's basic and has all the elements I enjoy. So, for our next challenge, we're going to see if we can beat Final Fantasy 1 using only Autobattle. Now, as the title suggests, we are going to be playing the Pixel Remaster version of the game because of this very reason, as that's the only one with an auto battle. And because of using auto battle, it kind of means by default, no items, no magic, along with no defending. Magic and items are allowed to be used from the main menu, however, but in battle, I cannot turn auto battle off. And honestly, while FF1 is a normally easy game, that's when you can counter all situations. But having to rely on auto battle, where some status effects are extremely potent and frequent, that could very well change. So let's have some fun and start. Now, we begin the challenge by first having to choose 4 classes and to name them. We're going to go with 2 monks, a thief, and a warrior. The warrior is strong and has a decent HP pool. The thief has good damage and an awesome evasion, while the 2 monks are powerhouses when it comes to damage. As for our names, we're of course going with the obligatory coffee shameless advertisement. Look, we're trying to hire an editor full-time so you guys get some extra videos and series along with a ton of benefits. Link in the description, by the way. You can support me for as low as $1 a month. Other than that, we're going to keep the trend of shameless plugging alive by naming the others Twitch, Twitter, and Discord, which oddly enough are all also linked in the description. Man, that finger's magic. It has everything, just like the Linktree link has all my other socials too. So go drop a follow after this video. So now we have our classes and our shameless characters. It's time to really start the game in full. And of course, this means instantly changing the settings to turn on continuous auto battle so we don't have to mess around with it in the future. We can set it and forget it. It will automatically turn off at the start of every boss fight though. Then in town, we're going to buy some potions. We're going to need a lot of them, I imagine, this run. Then we get taken to the king for an audience where he wants to save his daughter from chaos. I mean Garland, not Jack though. With 2 monks, we don't really need any levels. So we just rush right into Garland himself for a fight where we ultimately defeat him, but our lovely hero Coffee does not survive the fight. Rest in pepperoni, Coffee. And with that, the princess is saved, and so now the king gives us an amazing reward. He fixes a bridge. So let's go say hello to Matoya. On our way to Provoker, where Coffee dies again. He's really doing me dirty here. I think he needs your help, guys, to improve his numbers. You know, kind of like Goku's Spirit Bomb. So in Provoker here, we're going to finally replace a ton of our gear and spend the rest of our gil on more items before we have to fight 9 puny pirates and steal their ship. We're 10 minutes into the game and literally just committed Grand Theft Ship. Seriously, there's a reason we enjoy these games. Oh, by the way, just to note, we are the good guys here. So sail over to Helheim, upgrade equipment, and buy more items. Then it's time for Marsh Cave. Why? I don't know. We skipped the NPC who tells us to go here, so who knows what we're after. Inside, though, we're met with undead-style enemies and a lot of status effects, like the shadows who inflict blind, and considering I'm using auto battle, That's really bad. Thankfully, it auto-cleanses after fights, but still. I do also get poisoned by werewolves. Thankfully though, I bought some antidotes in Alfheim. Will I have enough? I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. Stats effects in FF1 are rampant. Inside here though, before we can get the crown, we get a monster in a box. Our first trap, and the fight is 4 Pisco demon mobs that even with magic, if they catch you off guard, can really ruin your day. And in fact, they nearly do ruin mine, nearly killing off one of my monks and doing tons of damage through the fight. Being a near mid-game mob though, and not an actual boss, we do take them down, and with all characters alive, thankfully. So we heal up and do it again for another treasure chest because I'm just a glutton for punishment and I don't learn my lesson. At least, that's what I'd like to say. But we need the Mystic Key first. So let's go grab it. With the crown in hand, head to the castle to the north that's totally ruined, where the only survivor is clearly the king, who is absolutely a good guy and not an evil magical elf working for chaos. Well, I guess I was wrong on that super specific sentence. Oh well, let's beat him up, I guess. But I don't think he likes the sound of that, since he opens up with AoE Dark, hitting 3 of my 4 characters, then he sleeps the same 3 characters, then slows and deaths Coffee. Like seriously, what has Coffee ever done to deserve this kind of treatment? I'm heartbroken for him. After this, he uses an AoE Fire, dealing a solid 50% of my HP in a single hit, and then proceeds to spam status magic again. Thankfully, he didn't use Fire, otherwise that would have been game over. Now, I could use this chance to farm the evil elf, since he can drop a mithril sword. You just have to save right before the fight. But it's a rare drop, and we can get one shortly from a shop. So I decided against it and move on. Now that we have the crystallite, we need to return to Matoria so we can return it to her. In exchange, she gives us a Jolt tonic. And now we can go visit the elf prince to give him the tonic. Well, welcome to Primal's delivery service, where your packages may or may not get there on time depending on unexpected game overs and random grinds, or extreme crippling pain inflicted by Twitch chat. But now the elf prince gives us the Mystic Key, which lets us get new treasures in the elf castle, Marsh Cave, Chaos Shrine, and the First Kingdom. So collect everything, including the nitro powder, and with that, I'm feeling remotely destructive. So let's go blow up some dwarves and change the map's geography, shall we? Head to the dwarf's grotto and give the dwarf the explosives. I know we've never met him before, but we can trust him, right? And yes, considering we just blew up a chunk of land to open up the ocean, I also have no idea how this cave doesn't get flooded either. And don't forget to rob the dwarfs blind. Next, in Melmond, regear, and don't worry if you can't afford the knight's armor, we'll be able to soon. But man, this place is a dump. Something vampire, let's go kill it. And he dies in 2 hits. No, we're not overpowered, he's just weak, especially considering the Earth Cave is such an amazing spot for leveling. Even just going through normally. If you are under-leveled, you'll absolutely gain tons of levels here, remarkably easy. But grab the star ruby the vampire hid behind him in the totally not obvious treasure chest, and leave, since we can't do anything else here right now. Take the star ruby to the giant and let him eat it so he gets out of our way. Then, of course, we rob him as well. Now visit the sage, who somehow knows we killed the vampire without ever saying a word, and he gives us the Earth Rod, the item we need back in Earth Cave to proceed past where the vampire was, which means we can now face our first elemental fiend, the Lich, Master of Earth. And he's pretty tanky. Dealing 100 to 200 points of damage is normal for me at this point, but he only takes about 30 to 40 damage a hit and deals 60 per hit to me. I have enough HP to tank a few hits, but he decides to go more on the status magic side of things and decides to try and sleep me a ton. It kind of works for him, but not really, so we just slowly whack him to death. Kind of like breaking a big boulder with a little claw hammer. And with that, we have saved our first crystal. 1 down, 3 to go. So, let's get the fire crystal done next. We need to head to Crescent Lake though and speak to all the wizards there who will eventually give us a canoe so we can now sail on the ocean and on small rivers, which means next spot is the Volcano, Mount Gulg. Man, I love this place. I just think the design is nice, and so is the EXP we get. Then, all the way at the bottom, we fight Merrileaf, the Fiend of Fire. An auto battle works out a lot better for us here than it did with Leech. Merrileaf is 183 magic defense, but only 50 normal defense. And with just 1440 HP, she's absolutely going down way faster than Leech did. Well, that's what I expected anyway, but even with more levels, since Leech, my damage is about the same, hovering around the 50 mark and about 100 some hits. She, on the other hand, does huge damage with her melee attacks and over 100 damage with her AoE fire spell. Discord died super fast into the run, and then shortly after, so did Twitter. She used hold on Twitch to stop him from attacking, and then also tried it on Coffee, but thankfully it missed because Coffee and Twitch are close to dying. Then Coffee comes in clutch with the critical hit, giving me the win. And with that, we have saved 2 out of the 4 crystals, since now the Crystal of Fire is revived. Man, I'm good at this saving the world business. So, because I'm so good, let's take a vacation to the worst possible location, the Cavern of Ice, so we can grab the Levy Stone. And honestly, there's nothing of note here. Even the boss, Evil Eye, gets 2 shots. Now, with the Levy Stone in hand, go south to the desert to get our hands on an airship. And now we have that, let's go get job promotions. And so it's off to the Citadel of Trials. The hardest trial here is always choosing the bottom teleporter. I know. Look, the 80s were simple times, okay? At the end of such a difficult trial, our reward is the Rat's Tail. So let's take it to that loser Bahamut. Look, anybody who gives the reward for a Rat's Tail must be weird, right? Man, I love Bahamut. Anywho, the weird dragon turns our weak little classes into the mighty jobs. Coffee becomes a knight of the people. Twitter is the ninja that people really wish they couldn't see half the time. Twitch becomes the master, God help us all. Discord also becomes a master. That one kind of fits, actually. Our Discord community is amazing, even if I get bullied by them. Oh, and make sure you rob Bahamut of all his treasure as well. After that, I guess we should go kidnap Tinkerbell or something who got kidnapped by a slave trader. Look, I don't know, okay? Nothing in this game makes sense, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if there was little flying boys tormenting a poor disabled pirate with a hook for a hand. So, head to Gaia, and that ungrateful little pixie ditches us before we chase her down to shove her back in the bottle. Buy some new armor here in Gaia. When you catch up to the pixie, sadly, she cheats and fills our bottle with water, so I guess we can't shove her back in there. Not sure how water can generate oxygen, but hey, game logic. And since we're up this way, we might as well go grab the warp cube as well from the waterfall cavern. After that, we'll head over to Onrak and do the water shrine first. On your way through, just make sure to get the Rosetta Stone. Look, we might be saving the mermaids from the octopus because we know exactly what Japanese tentacles can do to these poor women. That does not mean we cannot claim our reward by robbing them. Kraken, though, is a doozy. He doesn't have much health, but oh my god, he hurts, dealing a whopping 300 damage to my monks per hit. But this is the part of FF1 where things snowball now. So we kill Kraken with little effort. This is a problem with FF1 in general. It can be tough early on, but once you gain a few levels, you skyrocket past things, and the encounter rate in FF1 is so high, you can't help but earn a ton of EXP while just running through. Does this mean we're overpowered though? No. I expect to kill Tiamat pretty easily. Chaos, on the other hand, has a whopping 20,000 HP. That is a casual more than 10 times the health that these bosses have. And he hits a lot harder, has heals, and some very potent AoE spells. And monks, which I have 2 of on my team, have the worst magic defense in the game. But that's for later. For now, water crystals saved. Let's go to a flying city for the wind one. But first, we need a wind chime, and to learn an ancient dead language in less than 10 seconds from one conversation. Head to Malmond and speak to the scholar near the graves to learn Lufenian, then head over to Lufenia to get the chime. And now we have everything we need. So let's plow through Mirage Tower, opening all the treasure chests that have casually sat here out in the open for hundreds and hundreds of years before getting to the Flying Fortress. Absolutely make sure to grab the adamantite here so we can get the awesome Excalibur sword later. While here, I also debate fighting Warmech, but decide against it. Not because I don't think I can win, as honestly I do strongly believe I can since he only has 2,000 HP, but more so because of the time it could take to find him. So I tried for 10 minutes to encounter him, but didn't get him, so I moved on. This is the rarest mob in the game, and my previous attempt to get him for the 100% walkthrough I did took hours, so I'm not wasting that here. Now, for Tiamat. Tiamat has some hard hits, both single target and AoE, and he's not afraid to use them. Combine that with my randomly poor damage output, and we're in for an interesting experience. Twitter even died, which I'm sure is the dream of many, and Twitch wasn't that far behind, but just managed to hold on thanks to all that Amazon cash injected into its veins. And with some small sacrifices, the last of the 4 fiends is defeated. This means now we can go grab our Excalibur weapon. And if you think of the Excalibur song from Soul Eater, I'm not sorry. I recently rewatched the show and I wanted to get stuck into as many people's heads as I can. If you don't know what it is, YouTube it. It's catchy, trust me. And now it's time for the Chaos Shrine, where we find out Garland, who's totally not Chaos, but might be Jack who wants to kill Chaos, because Chaos is Chaos, and that's bad, so we need to kill Chaos. FYI, I just said Chaos less times than some actual conversations in the Strangers of Paradise game. And so, with the power of friendship, for magic elemental crystals, we travel 2,000 years back into the past. I know, plot twist, right? Whatever will they think of next? Maybe some kind of evil emperor who gets killed and takes over Hell to revive himself as some undead lord of Hell, and a spin-off can even have an evil angel version who takes over heaven. Nah, they're not that crazy. But chaos time. First, a rematch with Lich. He has higher stats now and a few new tricks, but ultimately is still the same fight as before. And honestly, I would have killed him faster if it wasn't for him using Stop on Coffee, who has my Excalibur equipped. The second rematch with the Fiend consists of Merrileaf. Same deal as before, only Twitter does absolutely no damage for me for some reason. Oh well, it's fine. 2 monks and an Excalibur user absolutely destroy her. Man, what's better than rehashing 4 bosses? So, let's go with Kraken now. And this is probably the easiest of all 4, to be honest. I do good damage with all characters. He doesn't really do much himself, and so goes down in about 30 seconds. After Kraken, before we fight Tiamat, we can go ahead and get the strongest weapon in the game. In the floor right after, at the bottom right, we can find a treasure chest with the Masamune in it. I equip that to the Thief Twitter, and leave Excalibur on coffee. And now it's just Tiamat and Chaos left. On Tiamat, I start off strong and get some good damage in, but so does he with some hefty AoE attacks, and he ends up killing Twitter. Then, out of nowhere, my damage massively drops, and I'm not sure why, before he kills Twitch as well. Discord and Coffee are both low HP as well, but thankfully a few more attacks takes him out. I'm really not sure what's going on with how random the damage is being though. This is actually the first time I've seen such disparity on FF1. And now for Garland, Jack, Chaos, whatever he wants to call himself. Also, am I the only one who thinks the whole time travel thing with the fiends is remarkably bad storytelling? It makes no sense whatsoever for, you know, how he can transform into Chaos. Anyway, I was just trying to buy a little time there. Well, you can see Chaos bend me over, smack that ass, and never call me again. Like, this wasn't even remotely close. He has 20,000 HP, and I did maybe a few thousand damage, while his AoE just absolutely decimates my party, and his single target attack does a massive 600 damage to me. I honestly was not expecting this. So it's time to grind, since that's actually all we can really do in this kind of challenge run. We already have the best gear, so I go all the way back to the air fortress. If we have to grind, I might as well fight Warmech. And as I predicted, by the way, he dies easily. I grind here all the way to 99. You might think that's overkill, but prepare to be surprised, because the rematch with Chaos took an unexpected turn. Firstly, he still deals absolutely insane damage to each of my characters, with Twitter even being hit for 710 damage in a single hit. Nearly 3/4 of the max HP in the game in a single hit. Remember when bosses actually used to be this hard instead of snooze fest in modern games? Anyway, Twitter eventually dies to AoE damage, but it's not like he was doing much damage anyway. Coffee is also falling behind here. Instead, what's coming in absolute clutch is the monks, each dealing anywhere from 1 to 2,000 damage a hit, allowing me to break my way through Chaos's monstrous 20,000 HP pool. But it was close, and this was also at maximum level with the best gear. I honestly didn't expect anywhere near this amount of difficulty, and if I lost, I sure as heck wasn't gonna redo the whole challenge to maximize the random stat gains from leveling up. Thankfully though, we don't need to do that because I'm freaking awesome and RNGs has only lightly caressed my soft buttocks instead of shoving a cactus up there. We did get lucky with the attack pattern and a good few crits, but hey, who cares? We beat Chaos, which means we beat Final Fantasy 1 using only Autobattle. And since it was so much more interesting than I thought, I'm gonna do it for FF2 as well. Will it be the next video? Who knows? Have a guess down below in the comment section. I'll give you a hint though. There's a secret in this video somewhere which hints what the next video is. Can you find it? But before I go, I want to give one more shameless plug for my socials and coffee. You can support the channel, get bonus videos and extra rewards, as well as allowing me to hire an editor full-time, which will let me start 2 entirely new series. You can also get some merch at primalstore.net, like our amazing OnlyFans hoodies, or my dumb quote pint glasses, because I can't speak after I have 2 beers. And of course, drop a follow on my Twitter and Twitch, and come join our Discord server where the best community around is. And I'll fight anybody who disagrees. All links are down below, and you can also click the Linktree link, which has literally all of my platforms and a nice easy list for you. Until next time though, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.